Hi, my name is DonaldGearhart, and this is my custom mechanic presentation. I'm just going to quickly go over a few of the mechanics that I made for this level. So the first one that I'm really happy with the way it came out is the door and lockbox mechanic, which are these objects here that interact together. Um, so quickly, this is just the lockdown node itself. All it does is destroy itself. And initially, I had a lot of other code in here that was a bit bloated until I found out about the event on destroyed, which the second that one of those lockdown nodes are destroyed, it checks to make sure it is the correct lockdown node and goes in and plays the animation of the door unlocking. This was in my initial design right off the bat, and it does use target points to decide where to move in the world itself, with just, of course, very simple timeline set up to have it move smoothly. Um, and show that off. I can quickly play and bang, doors open right up perfectly. The next is the employees, which I changed. One of the initial things that I did was changing the symbol on their chest to green so that you could kind of differentiate them from the mechs or the enemies in the level. In the event graph, begin play, I have it casting to the first person character so that I could track the amount of people that you talk to, which comes to my end level collection of data. In the event interact, which is a custom BPI that I set up, I have it setting the visibility of the click E text to invisible and the dialogue of which whatever each employee says to showing up. And show that real quick like this. So it says E to interact, bam, and it says we need O to find a way out of here. Each mech has their own custom dialogue that I set up in each of their own editor inside of the level itself. Speaking of the BPI interact, which is just a very simple BPI that just has the one function of interact, and I actually use that in a couple of spots, which you will also see in the coin, which also has event begin play, the tracking to make sure that I can see it at the end of the game, see how many times people interact with that, and the event interact here. Once again, when you interact, counts it up, destroys the actor, and I have the print string set up to check that as well. That is also just as simple. And now I have a coin. Every time you do that, you will gain a coin. There we go. And that is just simple box, collision, being in a certain distance, and you can interact with that coin. And the last custom that I had set up is an on hit with the mechs, which are the enemy AI in the game, or the enemy mechs in the game. And I have them actually rotating to their side and then destroying themselves, as you can see here. Just simply enough, do one of these. And they rotate down and then destroy themselves. So that is basically how that works. The very last couple of blueprints that I did set up was an elevator. For one of the exits, you do have to take an elevator up to the roof exit, which overlooks the entire level. And I set that up as I create a static mesh, as you can see here. just a simple box that the player can walk into, and making sure the player pawn is the one that is overlapping the box itself. It goes in. I have a little delay so the player can get fully in, so it's not a super immediate shoot up to the roof. Once again, very similar to the doors, where it's getting the world location, getting the actor location, and then going to that location. I did have to change that and work with that a little bit, just because of the world location can act a little funny, but it does work well now. And once again, this timeline, now simple, goes up, and I had to extend it for a while so it's not this teleport up to the roof level, since it is a bit of a distance away. And the last blueprint that I really worked with, or the mechanic that I worked with, is of course the data collection. And the way to get that to work was to, when you get into the parking lot, the game pauses, and that is the end of the level. So it disables the input and pauses the game and displays the widget that we will see at the very end. This is just a projectile that tells the enemies to fall over and die. The first person shooter, this is the interact BPI, where it is when you click E, this is what tells it to interact with something. So let's show off that very last bit of data collection and the elevator. Kind of come in here. You can, of course, collect that last coin. Go into the elevator. Elevator goes up. We are on the roof. We have the ladder kind of showing that off and pointing that direction, telling you go that way. And of course, hop onto the grate there. Oop. Down. Show that off as well. And the data collection. So those are all of the custom mechanics that I added in. The three ones that are connected to objectives, of course, are the lock boxes and the doors, the coins, the employees, and the enemy AI or mechs. So I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I hope to hear back any feedback on those mechanics themselves. Thank you.